Hi, my name is Brenda, and I'm an improviser. Thank you. I'm here to talk about what I do. I am an improvisational actress, and I teach improvisational acting at Carnegie Mellon University in the Entertainment Technology Center, which is a graduate program that combines both art and technology. There are challenges to that, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. I also teach this to whoever wants to learn it. So I teach to actors, I teach international business executives in the Tepper School in the summertime. It's also at Carnegie Mellon. Next week I have a workshop with a group of nurses. I've taught orthopedic surgeons. I've taught artificial intelligence developers. I've taught roboticists. I'm telling you all this because for all that we've talked about today about adults getting back in touch with their inner child and awakening the kind of creativity that we all know is inside all of us, I would propose that improvisational acting is probably a pretty good choice to engage in. There are a couple of reasons for that. One is that you don't really have to come to the table with any skills. There are rules that you learn along the way to play well together, but the skills that you need to have to enter into the play space is you need to have a clear mind. So drinking doesn't help. People think it does, but it really doesn't. You have to have a clear mind. You have to have a willingness to work with your body. You have to have an empty space and a willingness to work with other people, because improvisation is not a solo exercise, it's a group exercise. So back to the Entertainment Technology Center. We have students that come from all different disciplines. The art moniker covers everything from 2D and 3D, graphics, art, visual arts, to music, to composition, to architecture, to design, to theater. So it's a big range. On the technology side, primarily, most of our students come from computer science, but that also stretches to include other forms of engineering, mechanical, electrical, computing. And what we ask these students to do is to come together in the same space and work together to create new things. It's not as easy as it sounds, because they have profoundly different ways of thinking and different ways of approaching their work. They also tend to be pretty well schooled in their own disciplines, which don't necessarily cross over into each other's disciplines. So it brings me back to why we teach improvisational acting. Improvisational acting, they have to take, it's required, their very first semester all together. And what we found is that it's a great leveler, because they have to enter the space. They can't rely on the skills that they know, and therefore they have no choice but to check their egos at the door. It's a good thing. And then they're ready to start to play. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what it means to play as an improviser. Improvisers start with an empty room, each other, and they make offers to each other. Okay? An offer that an actor makes is anything at all. So, and offers and assumptions. So an offer might be, I might walk out onto the stage and I might stop and set down an imaginary suitcase. I've made an offer. Okay? I'm a character that has a suitcase. Another actor might walk on stage and say to me, Eleanor, I'm so happy you arrived safely. Okay? We have a little bit more information. Okay? Safely. I must have been coming from a place of danger. My name is Eleanor, so that sets me back probably in time a little bit. There aren't too many Eleanors in this day and age, but could be anything. The thing is that each of us are going to make small offers, and they'll add up. And as we make those offers, we'll get more information, and we can move forward in real time to create something. Okay. So the kinds of skills that you need to be an improviser. Oh, the other thing we need to make are assumptions. I know I was taught as a child that it's not good to assume because it makes an ass out of you and me. How many of you know that? Okay. In improv, it's essential to make assumptions. How many of you know the show Flipper? You know that show? Okay, it's a dolphin. Okay, so Flipper's all about, the plot. Sandy's standing on the edge of the pier, and Flipper comes up and, and oh, thank you, that was great. Who did that? So Flipper makes this offer, and then Sandy says, "What, Flipper? Bud is out with his tank, and he's diving underwater, and it's running out of air, and he's stuck in a cave, and we better go and rescue him right away." And then they all jump in, and then they go rescue him, and everything's great. Lassie, it's the same sort of thing, woo, woo, woo. And they say, "What, Lassie? Little Timmy was out riding his bike, and he fell over, and he hit a rock on his head, and there's a rattlesnake nearby." And so they're making assumptions about what the animals are saying, but in doing so, they further the plot. So it's the same thing in improv. You can't further the plot or the scene or whatever it is that you're working on without making assumptions and making offers. Okay, so in making offers, there's 3 rules that all improvisers need to adhere to, and this is what I hope you remember about this talk today. Rule number 1 is be fun to play with. Okay? Being fun to play with is not the same as having fun playing, because you can have fun but not be fun. Okay? So it's having a spirit of generosity, a willingness to stick your neck out, a willingness to fail, because believe me, you fail often in improv, and you need to learn to just brush yourself off and do it again. Rule number 2 is you need to serve the narrative. The narrative in improv is often the story or the scene that you're developing together, but can also be translated into anything that it is that you're working on as a team. In the ETC, it's very important that they learn this, that they're there to serve whatever it is that's outside of themselves, and if their focus is on that, they can't help but check their egos at the door. And rule number 3 is make your partner look good. So if you step out on stage with someone else, you shouldn't be thinking about yourself. You should be thinking about them and about how they look. And the way to keep all of these rules is very simple. All you have to do is say yes. And I leave you with that. And I also want to leave you with one more thing. Seems to me that these rules are also pretty good rules for life. Thank you.